Why did people only bathe once a year? It sounds like a joke or an exaggeration. But for large parts of history, this was normal. And the reasons are way deeper than just a lack of plumbing. Let's rewind to medieval Europe. Bathing wasn't just rare, it was sometimes feared. Public bathhouses were once common, modeled after Roman customs. But over time, these communal spaces gained reputations for being places of sin and disease. The Black Death and other plagues made people associate water and open skin pores with infection. So what was the solution? Stay dry, stay safe. In fact, doctors once advised against bathing too often. They believed that hot water opened the pores and allowed illness to seep in. The cleaner you were, the more vulnerable you were thought to be. Dirt and oil? Considered a protective layer. That's right, they thought the grime was armor. So, how did people stay clean? Enter dry bathing. They'd rub down with cloths, dust themselves with powders, change layers of linen clothing, or just mask the odor with perfumes. Royalty included. Queen Elizabeth I was famously known to bathe once a month, whether she needed it or not. Louis XIV of France? He reportedly took 2 baths in his entire life. And both times, it was on a doctor's orders. But this wasn't just a European phenomenon. In some cultures, like early Christian societies, bathing was seen as a temptation, a gateway to vanity, lust, and sin. To be devout was to be dirty. Literally. In colder regions, bathing also had logistical problems. Water was hard to heat, tubs were rare, and privacy even rarer. For many families, one large tub would be filled once. The father went first, then the mother, then the kids in descending order of age. By the time it got to the baby, the water was practically black. That's where the phrase, "Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater," comes from. It wasn't a metaphor, it was real. As cities grew, sanitation got worse. Chamber pots emptied onto streets. People lived stacked in cramped tenements. If you bathed, it wasn't to smell fresh, it was probably because you had lice or fleas. Or worse, you were being treated for a disease and had to soak in something foul-smelling like sulfur or vinegar. Fast forward to the 19th century, and suddenly, everything changes. Germ theory flips the script. Doctors realize dirt doesn't protect, it infects. Soap becomes mass-produced. Bathrooms become common in homes. And then comes advertising. Hygiene companies begin shaming people into buying products. If you don't wash daily, they warned, you'll lose friends. You'll lose dates. You'll lose your job. Cleanliness became linked to morality, class, and success. And so began the hygiene obsession. From never bathing, to bathing daily, even multiple times a day. It's one of the fastest cultural shifts in human history. Just think, in the early 1800s, people thought soap was suspicious. By the 1900s, people were scrubbing themselves raw to impress strangers. But here's a twist: scientists today are starting to question overwashing. Your skin has a microbiome, a delicate balance of bacteria that protect you. Washing too often, especially with harsh soaps, can strip it away and cause more harm than good. So we may be looping back around. From yearly baths to daily showers, and now debates over whether we should scale back, it's clear that how we clean ourselves isn't just about hygiene. It's about belief. About fear. About culture. And maybe, just maybe, your great-great-great-grandparents weren't as weird as you thought. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the grime of human history, scrub that like button, rinse off a share, and soak in the good vibes by subscribing to CONCURDAWRLD.